Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Once again, we have Sukhwinder Kaur here on the same topic that we've been covering in the past couple of clips that we've put online of the predators from Muslim community. We've gotten actually some really positive feedback and some concerns, so we have Penji here to discuss those and kind of give us talk about that feedback we have gotten so far and what communities actually saying regarding the information that we have delivered so far. So Benji, thank you again, and let's talk about first what kind of feedback have we received from the community.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ actually ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ community ਤੋਂ feedback ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ with the all that series that we have done with Radio Voice of Khalsa on sexual grooming, it has been very positive. In fact, I am very pleasantly surprised because this is what I believed in, when any information that impacts any family, anybody in a harmful way, community and people welcome that information. And for us to sort of think of taboo issue is more like, yes, it exists, but more like a hearsay. We always think what other person will think. The simple notion that what other person will think has created so much of this air within communities that, oh, what will somebody think? So here is a complete proof.
Yes.
That when you go to the community and give some good awareness or talk about some serious issue, they welcome it, they appreciate it, and for people, not just for people who are not impacted by these issues, but for common people and for the society and the community, it is a great information. And people who may also be impacted by these issues, that to think of certain issues as a taboo issues, this is only in your mind's fear that, oh, what other person will think. Here, the whole community is welcoming this information very positively.
And that's very good to hear, Benji, that people have actually come up to you and said, it's appreciative that you're putting out this information regarding this issue, and that tells us exactly what you're saying, that we like our gurus have always done, it's better to do something positive about an issue than to not talk about it at all. And I think we do ourselves wrong by not talking about what's happening around us,
because we give into this some unknown something that exists within the communities, or what will somebody else say. No, nobody will say nothing. You will get helped.
Exactly.
And community appreciates it. People and families appreciate it, that you not only stood up for your justice for yourself and your family, but also you in fact protected many other families from going through the same experience. Because when that particular fear, taboos, and the fear of taboos and fear of speaking out or getting help is not only harmful to you and the families within communities, but it raises the confidence of predators
of course,
to do much and much more harm to our community, whatever community does not speak about it. So like, in BBC documentary, this particular predator of sexual grooming crimes, he was saying it very openly and clearly that, we really prey upon Sikh families, because Sikh families don't know of these crimes, they don't talk about these crimes, and the Sikh girls don't tell their parents.
Because we have made our values such a big concern that our values will be shamed if something of our girl goes out in public
What the
in
other-
such regards.
What the other person will say, and Arpinder Panji, like we have talked before actually in complete details, that even our values are misplaced.
Exactly.
You know, why we are looking at the values, what other person will say, or ijjat or shame or disgrace. Why are we not in touch with the values that our gurus and our roots have given us?
And also what's hurting us
yeah,
as Sikhs and as a person, why are we letting others control that?
exactly.
Yeah. So along with the positive feedback, I know that there has been some concerns as well. Would you please let our audience know of what concerns have come up or what people have mentioned as far as these clips?
Exactly. The as we are saying, that community has come back with a positive feedback regarding this issue, and they're very thankful and grateful. They also have actually come up with their own experiences.
Sure.
And we are not talking about sexual grooming experiences. You know, these are general families who are coming up, who are sharing their own experiences that in their work environment, they felt uncomfortable with sexual advances of people from a certain, this community we're talking about, that origin. Here we are saying that the issue we are talking about is the sort of extension of these traits of this particular culture. Not to blame this culture, that even if an adult can feel uncomfortable in a work environment, then think about an adult can feel uncomfortable about sexual advances of a general adult. Then think about, with what kind of confidence, with what kind of determination and strong will predators of this very community can chase the girls, can chase the teens, can chase the children. So here again, not to vilify or, say wrong things about certain, degrade certain culture, but being aware of it, that this, for example, Arpinder Panji, like in Sikh culture, so many people say that Jat Sikhs are known to drink a lot. But that doesn't mean that every Jat Sikh goes about doing it. So we are just informing our community because we have never been around Pakistani culture. And this coming to these countries, we are coming very, very close, we live almost very close to these cultures. And then certain traits of this culture, like certain crimes of this culture of sexual grooming, have impacted our community a lot. This is the reason we need to know about their culture.
So precisely what concern have you heard from people, from our audience?
That in work environment, that and some adult working with them would just not leave them alone, that they would just make very uncomfortable sexual advances, that they'll feel uncomfortable about it. And this was not just one experience but many experiences like that. And somehow it's not me. These families connected that trait of this culture with sexual grooming, and they were being thankful. But here I want to say and sit down that we are not vilifying, we are talking about, because we in these countries, we have come very close to this community, and it's important to know about this community and its culture, because certain traits of this culture has impacted our community the most. Not just being uncomfortable is one thing, but sexual grooming.
So we're not stereotyping, we're not being racist to this culture in particular. We're just coming out with the facts, what the data is and what the experiences have been from this particular culture.
Yes, I mean, for example, in Sikh community, if Sikh young man just went and allured a Pakistani woman to drink, that as part of their culture because they drink, and I'm like hypothetical situation. So would it not be fair for Pakistani community, and let's say it had happened for 30 years, and then they were not just alluring to make them drink, but for certain crimes. So would we not say, would it not be fair for Pakistani community to stand up that, yes, they have this culture, and they use, because of their culture, that they do this to our families, to our teens, and it impacts our families, and it's important for us to know about their culture and what they do, and not even take into wrong things, or like it's a cultural issue or a religious issue. So here we are just trying to inform community, and with the feedback of the community itself.
And I think we did talk about your personal experience with such issue, and for some reason I believe it wasn't clarified enough. We would like to actually have you go through it again and kind of mention maybe a little bit more details to clarify exactly what the trap is and how these predators are actually working towards that trap.
Yes, I tried to explain in the previous videos.
And I know it's a very sensitive issue to you, especially have gone through it.
Yes.
But we would love to have a little bit more so our audience can actually know exactly know of the examples of exactly what happens.
Yes, and I guess I wasn't completely clear because we talked about relationships, false relationships, false friendships, and charm and whatnot. And I had been saying, that this particular predator threatened me, that it was to shame my family. So without me, going into the process, is sort of almost misleads one to think, oh, maybe something must have happened, or that's where he's probably threatening now that it's to shame you, or is trying to blackmail me. But I want to make it clear that to shame me was the very first tactic. There was nothing before that had happened. Shaming me was the very first tactic he tried to use to trap me. This is where, Arpinder ji, I mean, really, it is so important, our community. That's why I'm sitting here, that our communities, each and every family, youth, everybody has to know about these crimes. Because what I didn't know, this predator was hoping and had calculated that a Sikh mother, a married Sikh woman, should take it personally. She should think of it as a personal crime.
Yeah, that you have done something wrong.
But meaning, no, he was committing a personal crime against, like it was a personal crime. It was to shame me personally. It was to shame the children personally. It was to shame my parents personally.
So, and for you to fall into that trap, actually thinking that, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, I haven't even, this is what I want to make it clear, that he had no secret. Just like in other crimes, at least the predator would have a secret. He would have allured the child or the teen. He would have gone for dates and friendship and relationship. And now he had given her something in the drink, or now she was, gang raped or raped, and he had taken the pictures, and now he was, using those pictures and saying that this is to shame you.
Yeah.
And even then actually regular predators don't say that it is to shame you or your family. They just say that if you didn't follow us what we want you to do, then we will put your photos
Exactly.
with a given thinking that the girl will give into that cultural, but not to directly saying, oh, it is to shame you. So I had not gone through any of that process of being charmed or friendship.
Right.
But
The usual tactics. Yes.
I mean, this predator was literally had calculated that I didn't have a family, and we were new in US, that I was married woman. Who knows what kind of cultural values he was thinking that I had. And he in his mind had calculated, in his plan had calculated that this organized child rape crime could be literally a personal crime against me, children and the family. But it is, and his first trap to do that, to sexual assault and to literally threaten me that it is to shame you, was the first attempt to intimidate me, to scare me that I will give in to, and to threaten about children, about their looks, about what kind of family they were from, and going to the extreme of that, your children and your family, especially your brothers, had pretended like Hindus, Sikhs from cities, people like himself in radio, and people from cities while you are rural. And I mean, I don't even know this person for 5 minutes. So he literally is thinking that he could trap me
you with these comments,
and he could literally intimidate me and further blackmail me. I mean, in my mind's possibility, he could have never done that, because first of all, he's somebody working in radio that I don't even know for 5 minutes. Why is he relating to me personally? Why is he relating to my family personally, and 7 and 8-year-old children personally? I mean, I never contacted him back, and I had no reason to contact him back because I had no connection with him. But he followed and stalked and harassed and did much harm to my brothers, to that this woman did not know about organized child rape crimes, and he will walk away doing the most unimaginable harm to me and children and my family and my brothers as a personal crime. So in other words, Rupinderji, he was thinking that for somebody to sit in radio to commit a personal, social, cultural and racial crime against somebody Sikh was acceptable.
A lot of emotional attacks. Emotional attacks.
So you can say that, you can see that to what extent this particular predator had planned the cultural values, the religion, the social values, and for himself to be in radio as a birthright. I mean, in his Sikh mind, I should have not questioned it as a married woman, Sikh woman. So this is why it's important for us to know about these predators.
The level it gets to.
Like, he's literally thinking, she's married, she's Sikh, I'm in radio, I can have a birthright of judging anybody, personally, socially, culturally, religiously. Don't I have a birthright then to commit a personal, social, cultural, religious crime? But then think about how knowing that he was planning this was an organized child rape crime, he was making it all about me, children and my family, my brothers. Culturally, calculating cultural values, not being about my husband.
And how far he had thought about all this.
How far he had thought about. and how far he came after me and our family, that
To
why
emotionally attack again and
again, that why did it not work?
Yeah.
I mean, he literally planned it as his birthright of, you know,
Yeah.
do this kind of crime
Yes.
for being in radio. That how come a married Sikh woman not know it to be a personal and social and cultural and religious crime? I mean, again, Arpinderji, going further into, my family was being harmed and everything was happening, and I was like, why is this person literally a predator of little children? Otherwise, why an adult would
Yeah.
threaten about children is after me, and then my brothers and my family and my parents, when they don't even live here. And then in my vast research and then reaching out to Pakistani community and Sikh Awareness Society, I mean, they could tell me right away. They said it is a matter of organized child rape crimes. He's using cultural values to be after you and your children and after your family. And he, on top of it, thinking that you didn't know about these crimes, he literally planned it as a, and so, Arpinderji, I mean, tusi socho, I mean, why are we sitting here, and why do I think it is very, very important कि कोई predator literally थोड़े पीछे लग सकता कि it is my birthright to commit a cultural, social, religious crime against you, and rapes, gang rapes and whatnot,
and
can all
emotionally
be
break you, basically. That for
Destroy
you to
your
fall
family.
into that trap, totally make you feel that you're just nothing and you need to believe everything I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, I mean, other predators, they just, let's say they just use false relationship or false cultural
And
values.
it's more of a direct thing.
That, yeah, they use it as, false.
Or
They trap a victim,
blackmail.
even in shaming, they don't say it is to shame you and your
Yes.
family. They just do whatever they can to blackmail and silence that if you didn't do this, we will release your pictures.
Exactly.
And here, in my experience, this predator was literally,
He wanted to break you.
he literally was, threatening me that it was the reason that, in other words, he was not a rape criminal.
Yeah.
He was not a predator. He was just going to do this to you, to your children and to your family as a personal, social, cultural, religious crime. And you being a married Sikh woman, you should fall into that trap. You should know it to be as it is. So, very, very important to how far these predators can go.
And I think that's why it was very important to actually kind of have heard the feedback from community and to come back and actually go through the details of Benji's personal experience, because I feel it's important for people to know that we're not just sitting here talking about something that's out in the space. It's nothing like that. There's a lot of data out there of this culture and this community who's done a real harm to Sikh women or Sikh men even, and we need to be very careful in making relationships when we are thinking of this culture. So again, we're very
that's why I wanted to be clear, because in my own motivation and inspiration ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, it didn't come from ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਟਰੈਪ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਾਰਮ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ਼ਿਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਸਾ ਲਿਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਸਾ ਲਿਆ, ਐਂਡ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਲੈਕਮੇਲ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ, ਮੇਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਉਹਨੇ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ. ਨਹੀਂ, I have been motivated and inspired because as a Sikh woman, as a Sikh mother of 2 children, ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਡਰਾਇਆ ਧਮਕਾਇਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ, ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਅ ਸਿੱਖ ਡਾਟਰ, ਮੇਰੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਫੈਂਡ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ, with the things that he did, and my brothers. And for somebody in radio to literally tell me, threaten me, that it is to shame you, your children, your family, your brothers and their families, when we did not even know, just because, I mean, I could not even think that I am rural Sikh, that's why. How could a rural Sikh be walking around in any community expecting that anybody in radio can personally, socially, culturally and religiously shame them? So my inspiration and my motivation comes from this very fact that these predators can go this far, that if they think the circumstances are favorable for them, for this particular predator, that my family is not here, that they can go to the extreme of literally telling you that I am not a rape criminal, I am not a predator, but whatever I am doing to you, to your children, to your family, it is to shame you, and you don't even know. So my motivation, Arpinderji, comes from there, that how far cultural values somebody in radio or somebody could use, religious values, personal values, that he would literally be so confident in planning the ugliest rape crime, organized child rape crime against children, where mother is to be a trap, in such a personal, social, cultural and a religious way. Something that no other Pakistani predators had even done in the 30 years of crime, and this predator sitting in radio
could think that he could achieve that.
He could achieve that,
So, you know, again, we want to re-emphasize that it's not us, you know, we're not blaming, we're not putting down or degrading a community. Actually, my best friend is a Muslim, and I've dealt with their family for years now, and nothing like that has ever come through. So it's not just a certain person or certain religion or a certain community. It's because we've seen data from we've seen predators from this particular culture. And
I mean, you know, when I call Sikh Awareness Society, they don't even take a second to say yes, what it is. And even, you know, they knew even right away that, you know, I hope your family is safe, hope you're safe, because they use black magic.
Because they knew.
And they offered so much spiritual help. They knew right away. So we are talking about something that's real and has happened, and you know, so not something
that we're making up sitting here. So with that, I think hopefully we've clarified some concerns, and we do appreciate the positive feedback that's come through all this information. And you know, again, we're just email away or phone call away, and you're more than welcome to talk to Penji about her personal experiences personally, you know, and or even talk about something that might have happened with you, that she can, you know, put you to the right person to resolve. So thank you again, Penji, and we appreciate everything that you showed us, and thank you for our audience to give us the feedback and concerns. Khalsa,
Khalsa, Khalsa.